Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure and honor to introduce Mr. Lakshmi Narayanan, Vice President, CEO, ex-CEO of Cognizant Technologies. Mr. Lakshmi Narayanan, Mr. Narayanan began his career at Tata Consultancy Services, growing through the ranks from developer to the business leader. He was a regional head of TCS when he joined Cognizant as the CTO, at Cognizant he has played a leading role and built the whole organization and been with them for almost 25 years, the whole career, and was responsible for the strategy and also companies building the company for the various development centers across the globe. He was also served as the NASSCOM chairman and has awarded the DataQuest IT Person of the Year in 2008. Mr. Narayanan holds a MS Science degree for Electronics from Bangalore University and a PG Diploma from Indian Institute of Science. Over to you, Mr. Narayanan. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm a little challenged here with the mic and the big screen in front of me. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. And that was a great first session that we had with Dr. Velumani. There's an earlier occasion, almost a year back, before the IPO, when in Coimbatore, he addressed a very large audience of students. There were close to about 2,000 students from various engineering and science colleges as part of one of the programs that the ICT Academy was conducting. Made a very, very powerful speech then. Extremely powerful speech, very similar to what he said with all the Rajinikanth dialogues. He's able to relate to that. And out of that group, the following year, there are about 8 students from those colleges in and around Coimbatore, Erode, that area, who have set up shop, who have become entrepreneurs, who are working out of the NASSCOM's 10,000 startup warehouse in Chennai, out of the Tidal warehouse. So he's a powerful, inspirational storyteller. He's convinced at least 8 students to be on their own. That's a great accomplishment, in my view. Now I'll tell you what they are struggling with. You know, the struggles that entrepreneurs go through. And all of them are in the tech space because that's where the most entrepreneurial activity is globally, not just in India, but everywhere, because technology has become such a core. And for the first time ever that we have technology running or advancing at a rate that's far faster than its adoption. Earlier, if you had an idea, a dream, a business solution, we'll be wondering whether there is technology to implement and execute it. Today, it's exactly the opposite. There is technology that's available, looking for a solution. Looking for a problem. You think of any problem, you can assume that the underlying technology or the core technology that is required to solve that problem is available, very clearly available. I'll give you one example and then come to the challenge of why is it that we are struggling in implementing those. The example is that of, again, we'll stay with the healthcare industry. Take the same example of thyroid care, pathology, test results, images, etc. The holy grail in the healthcare industry is to build an electronic medical record system where you keep individual patients can record data, can keep their information, personal information, medical information, images, videos of conversations that they have with physicians, etc. in a very safe and secure manner, and use it whenever it is required in the process of consultation or in the process of healthcare delivery. Huge amount of data that we have to keep in a very, very secure manner. People have been trying to do that. Apart from the security related issues, one of the biggest concerns that people had was of cost. How much will it cost for so much of data to be stored and be made available whenever it is required in any part of the world? That the aspect of cost was daunting for many of the people to step into this space. Until people looked at the Facebook example. Facebook is a very, very popular, something that everyone uses, collects huge amounts of data, collects huge amount of videos, pictures, text, connects billions of people. Now the cost of running that Facebook, one would imagine in the normal process would be very, very high. Whereas if you look into the actual cost as reported by Facebook, for the operations, including the computing power, the network, the servers that they have, the people, they spend just about $3 to $3.5 billion for servicing over 1 billion consumers, which is about $3.5 per person. That's about it. And the amount of data that we keep in Facebook, very, very high, phenomenal amount of data, almost as much as medical data that each one of us can create in our lifetime. So cost is really not a consideration. If you can provide that kind of a service, that kind of data, they've used certain technologies that are available today, which were not available earlier, because of which the cost has come down. It's not the cost that is prohibiting a healthcare company or a hospital to store all the medical records. I don't think it's the cost that is preventing Dr. Velumani from storing forever the data that he generates out of the thyroid testing systems that he has, because the entire system that he has with Siemens machines is completely automated. The data is automatically created. There is no recreation from manual systems that is required. All that is available. Then why is it that we do not have a good EMR system anywhere in the world? Is it the computing power? We are saying technology is not a challenge. Is it the willingness to spend money? That's not a problem. There are plenty of people, like Velumani was saying, there are people who will chase good ideas. Money is not a problem. Is it the cost? Is it prohibitive? Again, examples of Facebook indicates that it's not the cost that is a problem. The single biggest problem is getting the right talent. Getting the right talent to work and solve problems like this. This is a complete technical problem where people with a great deal of technical expertise will have to get together, work and solve this problem. And where is the challenge? I'll tell you what the challenge here is in the context of a larger problem. Every year, the ACM, one wing of IEEE, an association dedicated to computers and communication, they conduct an international informatics Olympics. Olympics for programmers. Olympics for programmers in algorithms, in data structures, in Python, and Java, and C++, whatever. This is a global competition that they conduct in Olympics. Something like 90 countries participate in this Olympics. And our rank in the Olympics is number 31. The only solace that we can take is that the most innovative nation, US, is ranked number 28. Which are the countries that occupy the first top 5 positions in various topics year after year? Number 1 is Russia. Number 2 is China, or it varies between Russia and China. They are always in the number 1 or 2 spot. Poland, Switzerland, South Korea, Romania, Hungary. These are some of the countries that produce some of the best developers or programmers, which the type of skill that is required in the future. We are good at getting some good technical skills, training them, putting together in large teams, and solving a business problem very, very effectively. That's what our entire IT industry is built on. Phenomenal job that we do. In the process, I think we have killed individual capability in terms of coding and programming, which is something that is required in this new innovative age. And how do these countries do? What is the secret of their success? Very simple. The concept of technology, programming, coding is something that is integrated in the school curriculum. It's not something that is taught as an add-on. It is integrated in the school curriculum, because of which the Chinese score the highest marks in International Olympics, and because of which they are in a position to adapt these technologies that are available today into more and more applications faster than any other country. In terms of adoption application, US and some of the other countries may be creators of new technologies, new concepts, new products and platforms, but applying them into the real world, they are the leaders because of this capabilities available. That's part of the ecosystem. When we talk about an entrepreneurial ecosystem, at least in the technology space, availability of talent is one of the most important aspects. And we have seen time and again, as I also mentioned, finance is not a problem, ideas is not a problem, problems that we have that need to be solved is not a problem. There are plenty of them. But do we have the talent and the right talent? And that's where our investment, our ecosystem in terms of education will have to start changing. From the school level and then at the college. It's not as though we do not have bright people. It's just not true. I'll give you one other example of an individual. Some of you may have read this in the press. It was quite talked about. There's an individual, a girl in Bombay named Malvika Joshi. She was going to regular school in Dadar in Bombay. And when she was in standard 7, her mother decided that the school system isn't working for her. I want to do homeschooling. So they did what is called unschooling and taught her at home. Brought her home, taught her various subjects, encouraged her to do whatever she liked to do. 3 years after she was taken out of school, she experienced programming. And she said, hey, that's something that I have a lot of interest in. I want to continue to develop my skills in that area. I want to be a programmer. Again, the parents encouraged her to do that. She turned out to be very good. She competed in the Olympics, International Informatics Olympics. This is almost 2 years back. She won a bronze in her category, which was very, very creditable for someone who hadn't completed school. She was very good in mathematics. She liked programming. She got a bronze medal in the Olympics. And that's when she came to the notice of a number of people. By then she was ready to join college. They applied to the IITs. The parents said, IIT is the best college, so let's try my luck with this Olympiad medal. IIT said, if you do not have 12th pass certificate or 10th pass certificate, we cannot admit you. So she couldn't get into college. So the parents decided, okay, maybe let me continue with homeschooling and let me find a good coach, a good institution that will coach her. They found a mathematics institution in Chennai called Chennai Mathematical Institute, and there's a professor there who took her, 2 professors, took her and coached her. They found her to be extraordinarily brilliant, both in maths and computer science. Coached her, she moved up to the silver position in 2 consecutive Olympics. They offered her a position. They said, we don't care about your degrees, etc. We are an independent university. We'll take you directly into MSc program in math and computer science. You complete that and then you can do your PhD wherever you want, whether in an Indian university or overseas university. That was the offer that she had for someone who hadn't even completed school. Great move by them. But came MIT from US. They said, here is a brilliant person. She said, I'll give you all the scholarship, additional money, participation in research projects, come and join us in MIT. And she chose to go there. Opportunity knocked on our door. I don't think anyone should regret it because it's a brilliant mind. Wherever she works, I'm sure she'll contribute to society, she'll contribute to technology. But the point that I want to make is, there is individual talent that's available in this country. But the ecosystem to develop that talent into something of scale that can create a global impact is something that all of us need to jointly think about and create as part of the ecosystem. That's just one aspect of the education ecosystem. Then availability of funding for some of these startups and the people, the 8 people who are working in the warehouse in Chennai, who were inspired by Velu Money, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. Exactly what everyone says. He says, no job should be ignored. We all, as entrepreneurs, we keep telling them, no idea is born as a good or a bad idea. An idea is an idea. Idea is born as in a level playing field. It's the entrepreneur who makes it a great idea. So it's that opportunity that they're looking at, and that's the ecosystem that all of us who are part of TIE will have to create. And also encourage the other players. It's not just the group of successful entrepreneurs, it's the education system, it is the government. It's the government. We've been struggling with the government in many states to say, you know, this single window clearance, etc., doesn't work really for these startups. Just waive it. Moratorium for about 2 or 3 years to all these startups from registering. Let them do what they want. In any case, only about 5 to 10% of them survive. It's those companies that you want to register and fulfill all the obligations to society and be responsible, etc. The remaining 90, while they're experimenting, why is it that you want them to file tax returns? Why is it that they don't have any return? You want them to complete pollution certificate, etc. You know, it's meaningless. So it's the government ecosystem that also has to understand what the aspirations of these people are, and again provide the necessary thing. There, we as TIE members and TIE as a society have a major role to play. Talked about education, this, financial, we can go on and on. So the point that I want to make is when you're trying to build ecosystem, it's not just about providing the network for the people to provide access to market, to provide access to finances. It is fundamentally changing the platform that will impact innovation. It's fundamentally changing the education system at the school level, at the college level. It's to fundamentally change that unless you are current with the technology, unless you are current with what's happening in this world, in the manufacturing world, in the design world, in the storytelling world, it's unlikely that you will be successful the way we would like everyone to be successful. So it's that aspect of building the ecosystem that I want to emphasize a lot more and leave that thought with you. And thank you for having me here. Best wishes for this. Thank you.